Hi, I'm Kristen from the Louisville Public Library, and I'm about to go on my walk. I've got my hat on, I've got my sunscreen on, I've got my mask in case I run into anyone on the trail. I am ready to go. And tonight, I'm not just going to go on a walk, I'm going to look for animal clues. You can do this in your neighborhood too. Look for scat, tracks, other kinds of stuff, and see what kind of animals live around you. Watch the rest of the video and download our wildlife journal in order to get inspired to see what you can find. Let us know what you find.
Hi, I'm Deborah Price with Boulder County Parks and Open Space, and right now we could be in the backyard of a bear or a mountain lion or elk or even an Herbert squirrel. So when you come to open space, you're sharing your space with wildlife in their backyard. Now you might not see some of those animals, but they always leave clues behind. So if you put on your detective hat, you can investigate and see what wildlife have been walking the same paths that you walk.
Hi, I'm Larry with Boulder County Parks and Open Space. All animals, including people, have some basic needs. Animal homes, wild animal homes outside, are called habitat, which includes food, water, shelter, and space, arranged in a way that works for the animal. When you're on open space, you can look for signs that animals live in this habitat. It's kind of like a neighborhood that provides everything that the animal needs to survive. So enjoy your hike on open space and look for signs of animal habitat everywhere you go.
Look at the size of this track. This is a really big track, and it belongs to a black bear. If I put my hand in there, it's bigger than my hand. These black bear prints look kind of like human footprints, but they're bigger and wider, and they've got little toenails sticking out. So if you see a track like that, it's very likely there might be a bear around in the area. Now, this time of year, bears are fattening up to get ready for hibernation because they're going to sleep through the winter. So they have to eat all kinds of food. You might think that a bear eats a lot of meat, but 80% of their diet is vegetable matter. They eat a lot of berries and nuts and stuff like that. Also a lot of insects. So if I was a bear, I could come over and I might turn over this huge rock and there can be all kinds of bugs under there. So if you see a big rock like that turned over, it's very possible maybe a bear was looking for an insect snack. Now, you can also get clues from their scat or their poop. Scat is a scientific name for animal poop. So this time of year, again, since they're eating a lot of berries and stuff like that, you're going to see a pile of what looks like dirty seeds, and that could be bear scat right there to give you a clue. The rest of the year, like in the spring, you would see bear scat that looks like this. Kind of this big chunky stuff, you know, like maybe a dog would leave, but a lot bigger. So there's all kinds of clues out there to tell you that a bear might be around. And if you see those signs, you want to give them plenty of space so you don't cross paths.
Birds and insects often leave signs that they live nearby. Birds are incredible. They can make very intricate nests, like this one, just with their beaks. What bird drills holes in ponderosa pine trees for their home? Woodpeckers. Here's a woodpecker hole that was begun looking for food or starting to find a home. Other birds can also use woodpecker holes when the woodpeckers are gone. Insects also live in this ponderosa pine forest. You may find small holes like this, which are caused by beetles who found a cozy home and food beneath the bark of a ponderosa pine. Some wasps chew wood and make their own paper, creating incredible nests like this for their habitat. So birds and bugs are everywhere, so when you're out in your neighborhood or on open space, keep your eyes out for these animals.
One of the other animals that you might see in a place like Ohio Valley Ranch are elk. Now, elk are a member of the deer family. Obviously, they're a lot bigger than this, and they're bigger than deer, too. In the winter, when it gets really cold at the top of the mountains, the elk will come down here where it's a little warmer. Elk are pretty cool animals because they've got these huge antlers, at least the males do, or the bull elk. And they sit two antlers like this on top of their head, and they grow and lose these every single year. So late in winter or early spring, they'll drop their antlers, start growing new ones, and by August they've got a full new rack of antlers. So if you're walking around in early spring, it's possible you might see an antler laying on the ground, and that's from a bull elk that shed its antler. In addition to that sign, you can always look for tracks. So here's what an elk track looks like. It's bigger than a deer track. It's more round. Deer tracks are usually skinnier. Elk tracks are more round and kind of fatter like that, because elk have hoofs just like deer. Now another sign you might see in the winter is if you're around aspen trees, elk will bite and chew off that aspen bark because there's a lot of nutrition in there. So if you see aspen trees that have a lot of bite marks on them, that could be where elk are visiting for a tasty little aspen snack. So look for these wonderful creatures when you're out, and just like bears, you want to give them plenty of distance and enjoy the view.
A very special squirrel lives here, where it finds its food, water, shelter, and space only in ponderosa pine trees. Abert squirrels are usually brown or dark black, but they may be gray. Another name for this squirrel is the tassel-eared squirrel because of the long hairs on its ears. Abert squirrels nest high in ponderosa pine trees, and they eat pine cones in the inner bark of twigs. So the next time you're hiking in a ponderosa pine forest, keep your eye out for bare twigs and chewed pine cones, because that probably means an Abert squirrel is living nearby.
Brrr! As winter gets here, one thing that happens is we get snow. If there's snow on the ground, that's a great time to look for animal tracks. Especially in the morning, when animals have been busy during the night, you can find all kinds of fresh tracks. And other signs show up too against that white background of snow. So keep being a detective and keep looking.
We hope you have fun being a nature detective looking for animal clues in your neighborhood and the next time you visit open space. Take care.
We hope you're inspired to put on your detective hat and look for animal clues all around you. The library has some great books to help you learn more. This one is Go Wild, Be a Tracker, where you'll learn all about how to spot different animal clues. Poop is always a good way to find out what animals have been wandering around. Who Pooped on the Colorado Plateau looks at animals that are local whose poop you might find. If you want more information on poop, check out Scats and Tracks of the Rocky Mountains for more great animal clues. As it gets colder, you can still look for animals outside. Explore Winter gives you lots of great ideas for looking for animals in the winter, as well as other fun winter activities. If you want to read a story about a child being a nature detective, check out Tracks in the Snow for more inspiration. Enjoy finding out more about your local natural world, and let your friends at Boulder County Parks and Open Space and the Louisville Public Library know what you find.